Greetings, everybody. It's RPG Grandma, and I'm going to talk a little bit about virtual tabletop gaming, RPG gaming, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's role playing games to me. I the computers, the video games. I don't know why they got to steal RPG, and why we have to put TT in front of everything. No, it's role playing games. It's what it is. So I'm going to talk about doing it, some things that came up doing these things in virtual land. So we're going to address background. Okay. Now, if you catch me in a live stream, what you will notice is, RPG Grandma, you never have a cool background or a little character floating around here. That affects imagination. No, it doesn't. And I'm going to make my argument right now why it doesn't affect imagination. I grew up before we had the internet. That means I grew up before we had cool screens to hover behind you and little boxes to put whatever in, including character pictures. All right? That means I started role playing. So where did I role play? Was it in a cool room where it was all decorated with D&D stuff or spy stuff for the spy games, or space stuff for the space games, or, apocalypse stuff for the, into the world after the apocalypse type games. No. We gamed in school buses, on park benches, in school quads, in the science room, in the cafeteria, in the gymnasium, in the classroom. Let's see, parks, the big van that we had added a table in, camper, motorhome, kitchens, on the kitchen table with all the stuff in the background that goes with kitchens, dining rooms, on floors, around the coffee table, on floors, in bedrooms, family rooms, dining rooms, any room that was available, at a bar. It got older, different places, right? Where else? Oh, so many places. Garage, with all the stuff for the garage in the background. Very few of us have dedicated rooms that we can dedicate for our hobbies, whether it's sewing, role-playing games, yoga, working out. Very few of us have that. So we've always had to be adaptable. And part of being adaptable is, ignoring background images. Because in real life, you have background images. You're at somebody's house. There's a fish tank behind them. You're in somebody's family room. There's a TV set that's off over there. Maybe there's a fireplace behind Bob. You guys get where I'm going? We've always had backgrounds that did not match what we were imagining. It's a nice thing. Absolutely. It's a cool, fun thing. Absolutely. You know me, I'm not against coolness. So go for it. And the same goes with the little character pictures. I'll be honest. Most of the games I played, nobody had character pictures. Ever. Most of the time, we didn't even have pictures of NPCs either. We imagined, based on what we were being told by the players, by the game master, the referee, whatever you want to call them, dungeon master, in the game, our environment and what everything and everybody looked like. We imagined. And when you play a virtual game, you're still imagining. Virtual games appear in three ways that I've seen. You've got the, quote, Hollywood Square or the Brady Bunch effect with all the little boxes, and that's when you get the backgrounds, the cool backgrounds, and the hovering picture, right? And maybe the character. And if we did have a picture or something, sure, the DM would show that. This is what it looks like, Everyone's always done that too. And, but actually, very few people drew their characters. Some people did. Some people would cut out a picture. I look like this guy, right? Whatever, from a magazine or something. But for the most part, we really didn't. The majority of people didn't. So you got the Hollywood Square thing. That's where you can do this stuff, right? But the other way it's done is the map, and you see the little people get moved around, the little markers or whatever, and you just hear the people talking. Okay? They're still imagining a lot, all right? And then you have the at the table, and it's being filmed, which is probably the closest to traditional play style, because you actually have the people on the same room and they're actually playing. Now, the style of play can be vastly different from the more board game version to there's like none of that, and people are just imagining and talking and occasionally rolling dice. So it goes through you can see the whole gambit, But that's how the stuff is filmed and presented. And this really comes down to, this shouldn't affect your imagination. Whatever's behind me shouldn't affect your imagination any more than it would if you were sitting around a kitchen table and playing the game. You can enhance the imagination, sure. If we're talking about being on the bridge of the Enterprise, sticking a picture of the bridge of the Enterprise behind me would be cool. Yeah, wouldn't that not be cool? But it's not necessary, is what I'm getting at. Someone like me, when and if this ever happens where I change my the live stream background, it will be because I have the time to do it. Currently, I'm not someone who has a lot of extra time. I'm very busy, all right? And I'm so busy that to get to the live stream that I'm participating in now, I have anywhere from 8 to 5 minutes to set up. Let's see, from the time I unlock my front door and get into the house. 8 to 5. If I want a potty break, I gotta do it in there. If I want water, because I haven't had water for hours, and my job dehydrates you, which it does, I need to get that water. I need to get my camera, my device that I film on set up. I need to make sure it has power. I need to make sure I have the earpieces. All that stuff is working in sync. I need to make sure all that stuff is going. I need to get the player character. The last thing I'm going to worry about is whether I have cool pictures up behind me. I'm just not worried about it, because it's not relevant, to be honest, if you know how to imagine. And the question is, do you know how to imagine off of verbal descriptions being given to you by the group? So now we're getting into other aspects of the virtual tabletoping and actual role-playing gaming, in which communication becomes paramount. And that'll be the next video. I'm going to talk about communication. What you see in a virtual tabletop game, the technical difficulties involved, how to kind of deal with that, and also what's going on that kind of explain as best I can how this stuff works. And big tells that if you don't know how this stuff works, but you've been supposedly doing a lot of virtual gaming, I've only done 8 sessions, and I know how it works now. So I'm confused why some of these things are questionable for other people. But I figure I'll help with explaining how to improve communication, because that's what the imagination is based on, and how that all works between a group of people. Doesn't make a difference whether it's in person or in virtual land. The rules on this stuff still applies. So background shouldn't matter if you got a good imagination. It just shouldn't matter. Period. End of discussion. We're going to old school that one right down the line. OG it. Everybody have a great day. Stay beautiful. Stay wonderful. Rock your rolls. Roll them dice. Play games. Have fun. There's lots of ways to have fun. And peace. Bye.